Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. So update 1.49 is going to release tomorrow with 6 brand new cars added to the game. Now I thought I'd do something a little bit different for today's video since we already have the trailer and all the silhouettes here. I thought why not go ahead and pre-rank every single car that is coming with this update from worst to what I potentially think will be the best one. And then we'll compare it to what my actual thoughts are once the update is done and dusted. So in 6th place, and what I think will probably be the weakest car of update 1.49, has to go to the Vision Gran Turismo of the update, the Genesis Grand Racer. Whilst I do really love the concept and the stats for this thing, in all honesty expectations are always going to be low for VGT cars. For me personally, I did really enjoy the original and I do see a lot of potential in the Grand Racer. For me it feels like the Genesis VGT we should have always received. However, I do have my suspicions it's going to be very limited in its overall use. So once again, like most VGTs, there is great potential in this one, but it all depends on how Polyphony implement events surrounding this car. Hopefully it will be good, but I just think it'll be the weakest. In 5th place, I have another car that I feel might suffer from the same issue as the Grand Racer. Of course, I'm talking about the Roof RGT 4.2. Whilst I honestly think this just might be the coolest looking car of the update and especially the most unique, I do worry the fact that it is basically already a factory tuned Porsche turned up to the max, that it might be very limited in what we can realistically do with it inside of GT7. Whilst there is for me the potential to possibly be the best car, I really feel like Polyphony just might make a misstep with this one. I really hope I'm proven wrong and that this turns out to be the car that I can potentially see it being. However, only time will tell and we'll probably know more in the morning once the update drops. In at number 4 now, this is definitely down to personal preference and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for this, but I have the Lamborghini Gallardo. So I know to a lot of players this one might be very controversial, but this one is purely down to my personal preference. I was never really the biggest fan of the Gallardo. When it came to Lamborghini designs, I honestly think that in my opinion it's one of the weaker designs. I always preferred the likes of the Murcielago around the same era and we already have those, so for me it's difficult to get too hyped up about the Gallardo finally entering the game. However, in terms of the customizability, engine swap potential, I can see a lot of that going on, but this one for me is really just kind of mid. Does that mean I'm disappointed with this car coming to the game? Of course not. I can see this being very highly usable and very sought after by a lot of players. Coming in at 3rd place and essentially taking the bronze award for this update, for me has to go to the BMW E36 M3. Perhaps the coolest generation of M3 to ever exist is finally coming to GT7. For me this will be a very usable, great tuner platform that we can build into a track car, race car, drift car. It's pretty much a car that can do absolutely everything. In my opinion, this is a solid pick from Polyphony, especially over the newer BMWs. I'm just not a fan of those awful grills or the styling designs that they've kind of gone down the route with when it comes to more modern BMW M vehicles. For me the E36 has always been cool, it always will be cool, and I can see this one getting a ton of customization options, ton of engine swaps, ton of events to use. This for me is the all-rounder of update 1.49. Hopefully they don't mess the potential of this one up. So let's head over to P2, and the silver award for this update, pre-ranking should I say, is going to go to the Ferrari 430 Scuderia. As mentioned, I'm definitely more of a fan of Ferraris than Lamborghinis, so I'm certainly more hyped for this over the Lamborghini Gallardo. However, at first I was thinking maybe 3rd or 4th would have been a fairly reasonable spot for this car. I think to the untrained eye a lot of people would just say, look, we've already got a 430, but this is a Scuderia version. It's absolutely incredible, it's a dream car for many people and it's just absolutely awesome. There's a lot of potential here again for track builds, road builds, whatever you want to do and make a fairly powerful, pretty fantastic car. Again, I think there'll be a lot of use for this one, and honestly, I just feel like P2 is the spot on place for this one. I guess on another side note as well, it really does feel like the 430 Scuderia kind of just goes hand in hand with the Gran Turismo series ever since they got that Ferrari license. So in at number 1 and taking the gold award for this update, very obvious what it is. Of course, it's the Subaru Impreza WRC from 1998. Perhaps one of the most iconic rally cars to ever exist. That beautiful bright blue, those very bright gold wheels, and of course driven by the late great Colin McRae. I don't really know about the rest of the world around that time, but I just remember growing up that this Subaru Impreza was absolutely everywhere, with of course the iconic Colin McRae at the wheel. You couldn't really tune into anything to do with motorsports or VHS's, DVDs or anything without seeing images of this stunning blue Subaru Impreza. And for it to finally come to Gran Turismo as I guess a bit of a Gran Turismo legend as well, is absolutely incredible. I cannot wait for this one. It's a rally car, so it has great fuel potential, great tyre life, and is probably going to be an absolute solid all-around car, both off-road and on-road. Hopefully the physics make it even better than it would be if it was put in game right now. So in at number 1, that iconic blue and gold Subaru Impreza driven by the legendary Colin McRae. And there we have it, update 1.49 will release tomorrow. Please let me know your pre-rankings down below in the comments, and feel free to join me from tomorrow onwards as we deep dive and cover everything with update 1.49. Massive thank you to all of my channel members for their support. If you do want to join, feel free, it really does help me out between uploads. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or night wherever you may be. Take care guys, peace.